Hello everyone! In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the first entry in the SH Monsterarts Yu-Gi-Oh line, that being the Blue Eyes White Dragon. But before we get started, if you haven't yet already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another awesome review. Now, this is something that I've been looking really forward to. Now, I know I say that with a lot of my figures, but ever since they first announced that they were doing a SH Monsterarts Yu-Gi-Oh line, and starting with the Blue Eyes White Dragon itself, I was just like ecstatic. I saw the photos, the stock photos of this guy, and I was like, oh my god, I have to get my hands on this guy. And of course, we see he is sitting right here, right in front of us. So we can see this is a very large box. I actually have the camera zoomed out all the way. We do see the light here, hi. And here, obviously, we have the Blue Eyes White Dragon in a nice pose in the front. Of course, the actual photo itself of the dragon is glossy and the background is matte. We do see hieroglyphics, Egyptian hieroglyphics in the back there, very, very beautiful. Here we do have the SH Monsterarts, and in foil we do have Blue Eyes White Dragon in Japanese. Here we do see the Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh logo. On the side, Tamashii Nations, Bandai, and of course Bandai Namco there. On the top, we do see SH Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon in English. We do see some cracks here, which you can see the actual figure from the back, which is pretty typical of SH Monsterarts. They do showcase a little bit of their figures on the back of the box. Now, on this side here, we do see we have a pose of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is probably the pose, the most signature pose that a lot of people do recognize of this character, especially on that card. And on the other side, we do see same pose. On the bottom, we do get this pretty scary looking photo of this guy. Again, Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon. And on the back, flipping this all the way around, we do see some product shots of this guy. Same pose on the front. This is the pose that's on the side. You see the wings can collapse and protect the figure. It does come with a burst stream of destruction or white lightning effect part, as well as a bunch of stands for the character itself. And here we do see the dragon. The head is, of course, the burst stream of destruction right there. And of course, just a bunch of words and warnings for this figure here. So, very big box, very thin. You can see it's very thin, but it's very tall and very wide. It's pretty light for what it is, but without further ado, let's crack this open and see what this powerful engine of destruction has to offer. And here we have the Blue Eyes White Dragon out of the packaging and in a pose with the stand that comes included in this figure, as well as the effect part burst stream of destruction. So let's take a look at how this figure looks. And of course, this thing just rests right on the stand. Nothing really pegs in, so there's no pressure to this figure at all. Very, very nice, very smooth. It just lifts right off just like that. And I'm just going to move that off to the side. Taking a look at this figure here, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Just looks like the dragon flew right out the card, right out of the TV and into my hands here. It is so beautiful. It's white paint primarily throughout with a nice kind of metallic blue wash. And it's just really gorgeous all throughout the entire figure here. You see the wings, nice and bluish white as well, all the way around. And just this face here is so beautiful. We see those piercing blue eyes that gives this creature its name, a nice white crest on its head, and purple tongue, purple mouth, as well as white teeth, nicely picked out in paint there. So really, really pretty. Now just take a look at some of these claws here. Focus. The camera's having a real hard time focusing today, so I'm not sure why. Maybe I just need a new phone, but yeah, beautiful claws as well. Now, in terms of articulation, the mouth does open and close. The tongue actually isn't really articulated by itself, but it is soft plastic and it's kind of pegged into the back of that mouth there, so you can kind of wiggle it a little bit, but it won't hold any poses. Now, each segment here is an individual joint and it can move around, can rotate, so that's really, really nice. You can get this into any crazy poses you really want, so that's really, really cool. Basically, the big joints here, the wings, the shoulders, the elbows, and the wrists are all on swivel hinges, and same with the thigh here and all the way down here as well. So basically, they will move around. Actually, sorry, no, this hip joint is actually a ball joint in there, but it does kind of wiggle around. So there is that. But the rest here, this is all kind of swivel hinge, as you can see. Same with this. And I believe the shoulder, my bad, is also a ball joint, but everything else is a swivel hinge. So there is that. And same with the wings, swivel hinges here. And even at the tip connecting here, this is also a swivel hinge. Now these pieces are on ball joints. If you flip it around here, it's actually kind of hard to see. If we get this tail out of the way. You maybe see in there, you see a little ball joints here. So these kind of move around as well. So based on how kind of extended you want the wings, you can kind of collapse it here. And then that way it still kind of hides everything really well. So you can kind of collapse it down. Or you can kind of extend it as far as you want. And then these can kind of move down as well, just to hide the gaps there. So that does look really nice. So there is that. And of course, the body segment, these are all ball joints as well, so it's really, really nice. Lots of articulation. And of course, every single segment of this tail, I believe, is an individual ball joint. Except for the tip here, these little pieces are together, but every other segment here, I believe, is on a ball joint, so you can get really, really cool dynamic poses out of the Blue Eyes White Dragon Monsterarts. So yeah, very, very beautiful. Let's get this guy standing. Let's just take a quick look at the effect piece here, and I'm just gonna pop this off the stand. And of course the stand, as you saw, this one just kind of hooks onto the belly here. Nothing really hooks on, just kind of rests on the belly, and we do have two supports here for the wingtips, just so that we get full support of that figure there. And of course it also comes with this additional stand with a little peg at the top, just for this effect part here. Speaking of, this is the Burst Stream of Destruction here. In the box, there's a few of these light pieces that were detached, and because just for the sake of fitting it into the box, you're just gonna have to put that together afterwards, but it's really easy to take apart, put together, no real issues. We do have kind of this bluish white lightning that circles around here, and of course there is a peg hole on the bottom so that you can peg this onto that stand and just have Blue Eyes firing that off. If you want, you can also have this fitting into Blue Eyes' mouth, but again, it's not really going to hold, as some people have shown on the internet. It's probably just Photoshop, because again, with that tongue, it's really hard to fit this in without damaging some of the pieces. So I really wouldn't recommend having him hold this ball in the mouth unless you actually have some way to support this beam effect. So yeah, there is that. Getting that out of the way. That's pretty much it for accessories. Basically, we get this figure, this stand, and of course this Burst Stream of Destruction effect part, and that's everything that comes in this box. So, for some quick comparisons here, I'm moving that guy there. I do have the Figurized Standard Amplified Blue Eyes White Dragon. Let's take this off the stand here, so we can actually see how this thing looks. So here we have the Figurized Standard version of Blue Eyes White Dragon, which it's a very different design. I didn't do a review on this because it's a model kit. It's just got to build it. It's a very kind of sharp and just jagged design. Again, this is not how he was really depicted in the show. This is more of a kind of modified or artistic representation of Blue Eyes White Dragon. You can see there's much more spikes on his body and stuff. And this is very light because, again, this is just a model kit, but this is a full-on figure. And also on this one, the wings, except for that hinge and that hinge here, this thing doesn't really collapse. It doesn't really do anything. But the good thing is this is a plastic membrane, so that does make it look a little bit different and a little bit cooler as well. So yeah, that's it for comparisons between these guys. And just for a regular comparison, something that most of you might have at this point, if you do collect these guys, is of course just Gohan standing here right in the middle. And we can see the size-wise, the Blue Eyes White Dragon is not that big, but of course the articulation is really good, and because of these wings that just look really pretty, it is more expensive, much more expensive than just your regular SH Figuarts. So yeah, that's it for comparisons. So, final thoughts on the Blue Eyes White Dragon Monsterarts. This thing is just an absolute masterpiece. When I first saw the pictures, I was really excited to get my hands on this guy, and now that he's actually in hand, he's basically everything that I thought he would be, and probably even more. Just again, the color scheme, just the paints and the wash is just so pretty, and I don't think they could have done this any real better. And of course, the articulation, everything is really beautiful as well. The accessories, again, we don't really get much, but again, he only does one attack anyway, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. And because he is a dragon, The hands are as is. It would have been nice if the hands were actually articulated, same with the feet itself, such with the toes, but again, I see how that can create some stability issues, so I'm not too upset that they didn't do that either. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on this guy. If you haven't gotten your hands on this guy yet, I highly recommend you do so, because I do foresee this guy being extremely sought after in the future, and especially with the Red Eyes Black Dragon already announced and up for pre-order. It won't be long before this guy kind of disappears, and then if you do want to collect these guys later on, it's going to be extremely expensive to find this guy. So yeah, that's my review for the SH Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button, and until next time guys, take care.